The world of rock music suffered a deep loss when Joseph Michael "Dusty" Hill, the iconic bassist of ZZ Top, passed away. His sudden departure marked the end of an era defined by driving blues rock bass lines, unmistakable image, and unwavering dedication to music. Though it has been some time since his passing, tributes and remembrances still resonate, reminding fans and fellow musicians alike of the monumental impact he had on rock history. This piece recounts the life, legacy, and lasting emotional effect of Dusty Hill's passing. A titan of rock, Dusty Hill wasn't just a bassist.
He was a cultural icon, a symbol of Texas rock,
And a man whose musical contributions were essential to the distinctive sound of ZZ Top. Alongside bandmates Billy Gibbons and Frank Beard, Hill helped create a musical identity that was both raw and polished, deeply rooted in blues traditions but delivered with rock intensity. Born in Dallas, Texas, Hill's musical career began early. He played in various bands with his brother Rocky Hill before settling into what would become one of the longest-running lineups in rock history, ZZ Top. With his deep, growling bass and understated but confident presence, Hill helped elevate the group from local Texas favorites to global rock legends. The signature sound. What made Dusty Hill stand out was not just his technical skill, but his ability to serve the song. He wasn't a flashy bassist. His playing was steady, groove-based, and locked in perfectly with Frank Beard's drumming. In songs like La Grange and Tush, the bass wasn't merely accompaniment. It was the foundation upon which the entire song rested. Hill's harmony vocals and occasional lead vocals also brought richness to ZZ Top's sound. He often provided a soulful counterpoint to Billy Gibbons' raspy twang. Their voices and instruments meshed so tightly that it became difficult to imagine ZZ Top without him. That fact made the news of his passing all the more heartbreaking. The tragic announcement. When the news broke that Dusty Hill had died in his sleep at home in Texas, the rock community was stunned. Though he had recently stepped away from touring due to a hip injury, fans believed he would return. The announcement came abruptly, and even though the cause was not widely publicized, it was clear that his health had quietly declined. The timing added to the shock. ZZ Top had just resumed touring after the pandemic, and fans were excited to see them back on the road. Hill's absence was explained as temporary, but his death made it clear that his condition had been far more serious than initially disclosed. Grief in the music world. The response from the music community was immediate and emotional. Fellow musicians described Hill as humble, talented, and deeply committed to his craft. He was often described as a quiet force, never seeking the spotlight, but commanding respect through consistency, musicianship, and professionalism. Artists across genres posted tributes. Some recalled sharing the stage with him. Others remembered the first time they heard ZZ Top's music. Fans shared stories of concerts, favorite songs, and personal memories tied to his music. The outpouring of grief reflected not only Dusty Hill's musical legacy, but also the warmth and respect he earned as a human being. The beard, the bass, the brotherhood. One of the most iconic visual trademarks of ZZ Top was the matching long beards of Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill, despite the ironic twist that drummer Frank Beard remained clean-shaven. Their look, though sometimes viewed as a gimmick, was part of what made ZZ Top unique. But beyond the visual, it was the chemistry between the three that made the band tick. Dusty Hill's role in this trio was essential. He brought balance to the group musically, visually, and emotionally. His calm demeanor complemented Billy's flamboyant guitar work, and his tight rhythm work kept the music grounded. Over decades, they built an unshakable bond. Losing him wasn't just about replacing a musician. It was about losing a brother, continuing the legacy. In the days following Hill's death, the band released a short but poignant statement, confirming his passing and declaring that he had expressed a wish for them to continue. His longtime guitar
tech, Elwood Francis, stepped in on bass duties.
Though the band continued performing, there was a palpable sense that something irreplaceable had been lost. Fans were divided in their emotions. Some found comfort in the band's decision to honor Hill's wish to go on. Others felt that without him it would never truly be ZZ Top, regardless of opinion. Most could agree that Dusty's influence would live on in every performance. Every bass line and every bearded tribute that followed. The quiet genius. One of the most endearing aspects of Dusty Hill was his humility. Despite being part of a legendary band, he lived a relatively low-profile life. He wasn't often in the headlines, didn't seek the limelight, and rarely gave lengthy interviews. But when he did speak, his words carried weight. He was known for his dry wit and deep musical knowledge.
He once described fame as something that just kind of happened, and he never seemed to let it change who he was.
In many ways, that grounded personality made him even more beloved. He also explored other interests, from a cameo appearance in films to an uncredited voice in animated series. Though music was his life's work, Hill had a curiosity and humor that extended beyond the stage. The emotional toll for many fans, Dusty Hill's death felt personal. His music had been part of their lives for decades, soundtracking road trips, backyard parties, and countless private moments. Losing him was a reminder that even rock legends are mortal. There was also the sense that a chapter in music history had closed. ZZ Top had been one of the last classic rock bands with an unbroken lineup. Their durability was a source of pride for fans, and Dusty's passing symbolized the end of that rare continuity, reflections and remembrance over time. Memorials were held, tribute concerts performed, and social media filled with stories. New generations discovered ZZ Top's discography, diving into classics and hidden gems alike. From gritty blues rock jams to synth-laced 80s hits, Dusty Hill's fingerprints were on all of it. Some artists covered ZZ Top songs in their own styles to honor him. Others incorporated his bass tone into their own work as a subtle homage. Music schools taught his bass lines, and fans wore Rip Dusty shirts to shows. The rock world may move fast, but certain legends leave marks that time cannot erase. What Dusty taught us beyond music. Dusty Hill's life offered lessons in professionalism, humility, and passion. He reminded us that you don't have to be loud to be heard, or flashy to make an impact. His was a life of quiet mastery, an artist who loved what he did, never took it for granted, and never let ego get in the way of the groove. He taught younger musicians the value of consistency, the importance of chemistry, and the power of knowing your role. In a world full of showboats, he stayed true to himself. And in doing so, he became irreplaceable, the final word. While the initial news of Dusty Hill's death was devastating, his story doesn't end there. He left behind a massive legacy, not only in record sales and accolades, but in the hearts of millions who grew up on his music, danced to his bass lines, and admired the man behind the beard. Today, Z Top continues to tour, and Elwood Francis fills in admirably, but Dusty's presence still lingers in every note, every beat, and every cheer from the crowd. The band and the world lost a true original, but his music continues to speak. As we look back, we don't just mourn what we lost, we celebrate what he gave us. Decades of incredible music, an unforgettable persona, and a quiet lesson in how to be great without shouting. Rest in peace, Dusty Hill. Your groove lives on.